G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Draw with Jazza. I'm Jazza and today I'm not drawing, I'm going to attempt to carve, and I'm a little bit terrified because I've wanted to do this for so long, and now that it's all in front of me, I'm really scared. There's no Control Z in stone. I have the unfortunate habit of talking a lot, especially in videos where I'm anxious to start, but I want to start off by thanking the sponsor because this video wouldn't be possible without Ubisoft and the upcoming Assassin's Creed Odyssey game. First of all, because I have a great theme, I am going to be carving Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I'm going to be attempting to create a bust of this awesome character from their upcoming game. And of course, because they're sponsoring the video, I actually have a budget to purchase power tools and the soapstone and all this stuff. So it's amazing content that's only possible because of Ubisoft. Go check out Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's released in Australia on October 5th. In Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you'll get to play as either Alexios or Cassandra and set off into the world of ancient Greece to become a legendary Spartan hero. This is that copyright? Probably. And it's totally something different, so I should stay on track. This is Assassin's Creed, available on October 5th. A big part of the game is the choice aspect. You really can forge your destiny and define your own path in a world on the brink of tearing itself apart. Find uncharted locations, uncover hidden treasures, or cleave your way through entire fleets in naval battles. You can customize the look of your ship, upgrade weaponry to suit your strengths, and recruit crew members with unique perks, tailoring naval combat to your style. The game looks absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to check it out myself, and I highly recommend you guys to go check it out, and I really am so grateful to Ubisoft for approaching me to sponsor this video and making this content that I've wanted to do for so long possible. So, I don't want to dilly-dally any longer because I tend to want to do that. I want to start off by showing you the tools I have to work with and showing you the stone I have to work with. Soapstone itself is quite carvable. It really is quite easy to just sort of gouge into. So getting into the details and the nitty-gritty stuff will be fairly straightforward, he said, with no experience of ever doing it to this scale before. I don't know about you guys, but when I was in high school, we had a soapstone sort of part of the art curriculum where we had a stone like this big. That was my soapstone carving assignment. Well, today I'm going to be carving this. I haven't even looked at this before. So soapstone comes in loads of different colors and shapes. This thing is so heavy. It feels quite soapy. There's a reason they call it soapstone. Now this is the preferred one that I want to work out well, but I do have a backup because I don't trust myself. All right. Oh, good lord. This is very heavy. So I have my actual stones, but as I do in videos where I haven't really used the material I'll be working with, I like to experiment, which is why I got this extra smaller bit of soapstone. I want to play around with the tools that I'll be carving with before I attempt to do something as ambitious as a bust. Safety first, ladies and gentlemen. Now I have power tools over here. This is a reciprocating saw. Who trusted me with power tools? This is a Dremel. This will be good for the really fine details, so if I'm getting into carve like around the nose and mouth and all that stuff, hopefully if I have something resembling a human face. And then this is a, what's it called again? A die grinder. This is a die grinder. I'm a professional. Oh, I scare myself with power tools. Now I've sealed goggles and a dust mask for when I use the power tools because it's going to get really dusty, which is why we have constructed this amazing dust room. I'm also hoping I don't suffocate in here because it's wrapped in a lot of plastic. So I'm going to play around with my piece of wood, and another thing that I've done is I've actually built what is referred to as a carving bench. The idea is that you can carve against it and the stone won't go slipping away in a soapy-like fashion. Wow, that's very... Oh man, that feels really cool. This is going to be fun. I'm getting excited now. The nerves are disappearing as I carve into the stone. Alright. Ha! Alright. So the rasp is sort of a little bit more of an organic way of shaping the soapstone, apparently, he said with an expert's tone, even though he's never done this before. This is a hand rasp. I don't know if I think I'm supposed to hold it like this. Yeah, probably. I don't know. And then we have rifflers, and these will be good to get into the detail. So like, let's say I want to like carve like a little corner in here. I can just sort of use this to work my way in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is chop up the stone just in some rough blocking until I have something resembling a bust shape. Another thing I realize I need to keep in mind is that the stone has grain. So I can see that the grain here there's got some like brown tinges in there. Overall, it's going to have a bit of a marble look. So I'm thinking of having the face in this direction because the stone does sort of pop out the front here and the shoulders can sort of go over to the side. So I'm going to have to try and block out. We're going to get rid of quite large chunks of stone and end up with something fairly small. So this is the part where I get stuck into some power tools and turn this room into a dust haven. I'm scared again. First order of business was to break up the stone into a more manageable geometry, starting with slicing the top so I knew the maximum height of what the bust would be. This process was actually really satisfying. I used the reciprocating saw to get the core of the cutting done, and if the blade I used couldn't reach through the whole section, I used a hammer and chisel to break it down further. There were a few tricky spots that within the stone didn't feel or carve away like soapstone. They were much harder, probably just, actual stone. They were much grainier and harder to get out, and there were even sparks at times. But really, I'm just super lucky that by chance I had picked that section to be at the back of the sculpture. So fortunately, it wouldn't ruin the face or details of the front of the statue. Slowly, I blocked out the general shape of the head and shoulders, careful to constantly refer to the reference images I printed and make sure I never cut off too much because, this kind of goes without saying, but there's no going back. And as someone who is primarily a digital artist and as someone trying stone sculpture for the first time ever, this was terrifying. Slowly but surely, I turned the big hunk of rock into something resembling a feminine bust. And I gotta say, I am incredibly glad I got power tools to do the job. They gave me a lot of control and speed, which definitely shaved the time I took to make the sculpture in half at least. Eat your heart out, Michelangelo. I used a die grinder with metal grinding nibs for the broader areas of sculpting, and later on in the piece I used a Dremel tool to do the same thing but with greater control and level of detail. So this is the end of day one's work. I'm gonna say I was really terrified in the middle there that it wouldn't look alright, but honestly the way it turned out is pretty good. Like, I'm pretty happy with this. I feel like this is a really good foundation to work from. So now I'm ready to move on into the next bit. I am covered in dust though, so the solution to that is to do what dogs do and give yourself a nice big shake. You ready? This is how it's done. Much better. I always said there's something to that dog shake. I'm even clean shaven now. It's very effective. So next comes the part where I go into some of the details and start to move away from power tools a bit. I still have some rough blocking in to do and chunks to remove, but overall we're moving in the right direction, and getting to the details is going to require a lot more hand tools, and that's also going to be a little more accurate for me because the power tools take a lot off very quickly, but also take a lot off very quickly. So there's no going back, and if I accidentally take a chunk out, which happens now and then with the power tools, I may regret it. So these are the soapstone chisels, and this is where I'm going to have a lot more control over the details. So I think I'll start off with the maybe a little bit more of the die grinder, and then moving on to the Dremel to get some of the bigger chunks and areas out. And then a lot of the details are going to be handled with these things, the rasps and then the hand chisels. And I'm nervous again because there's no going back, but I'm still happy with where I am so far, so that's a really good place to start. Alright, I'm interrupting the epic time lapse to just fill you guys in. Her nose broke off. I was like shaving something else and stupidly accidentally flicked it off. Fortunately, I found her nose piece. It seems to fit in perfectly. I'm gonna try not to chip anything else off, and I'm gonna try and come back later after I refine this piece and glue it back on with some epoxy. And really hope that works. If not, you're gonna have to excuse that this ancient sculpture has a touch of Sphinx to her. oh, it hurts my soul a little bit. I'm really happy with how it's turning out so far. Just, you know, she needs a nose job, but we'll get to that later. All right, back to the epic time lapse. Okay, we are here, and it's time for the reveal, and I usually just reveal the artwork after the time lapse, but I feel like after working on this for several days, it's justified to take a little bit of a breath. Also, before we reveal, I want to thank a few people, starting off with Anthony from Make or Mark Art Supplies and Bunyan Films. He helped me out with all this soapstone stuff, and I would not have been able to do what I did without his help and advice. If you're Australian and you're interested in getting into soapstone carving, go check them out. The website's in the description. And of course, while we're thanking people, I need to take another moment to thank the sponsor of this video. This would not have been possible without Ubisoft. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is an amazing Greek mythology-based Spartan legend. Playing either Alexios or Cassandra, who I sculpted today, you can influence how history unfolds and experience a rich and ever-changing world shaped by your own decisions. You can show off your extraordinary warrior abilities and join epic clashes between Sparta and Athens in huge battle, pitting 150 versus 150 soldiers against each other. Discover a world rich with myths and legends, from ancient rituals to famed statues. Come face to face with Greek's legendary figures and discover the true nature of its most daunting mythological beasts. And speaking of coming face to face with ancient Greek style epic statues, this is what I made. This is my statue of Cassandra. As a first timer in stone sculpture sculpting, I'm pretty bloody happy and proud with how this has turned out. This was so much fun, so challenging. She has a nose. Oh, my soul died when that thing broke off, but it's on there. I glued it back on with epoxy, and it survived the last little bit of sanding and polishing, and here we have my final piece. I really hope you guys enjoyed the outcome as much as I am. And the best part is, I only used the one stone, so even though I made mistakes, I was able to somehow fix a lot of them as I went, but that also means we still have... Why do I keep doing that? This. So while it may be a while before I come back and set up the dust room and create another sculpture, I have another stone with which to do so. And I'd love to know what you guys think I should carve when I come back to it. What do you see hidden and waiting to be unleashed from within this stone? Or maybe I should get a bigger stone. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button for the amount of effort I've gone to entertain you today, and subscribe to Draw with Jazza for loads of fun with art and the occasional insanely ambitious project. That's it for now, and until next time, I'll see you later. Make sure to subscribe to my channel to see more of my videos. And while you're at it, check out my shop where I sell ebooks, brushes, photo references, video courses, and more. There's another video you might enjoy from my channel over there, and you can also check out my behind-the-scenes daily vlog channel, Daily Jazza. That's it for now, and until next time, I'll see you later.